Hi everyone, got a fun demo today. Just really sharing the summer project I've been working on. This is designed to help people who are looking for different roles. We have an AI interview coach, which has an ability to conduct mock interviews using voice. It has a resume review section and a question and answer section. So essentially what you can do, and I'm going to walk through this demo today, is for a given role, you can actually prepare for that role by perfecting your resume, by practicing interview questions with a live interviewer, and by working through easy, medium, and hard questions. I'm going to show you how it all works. This will be launched very soon. So if you are interested, please drop your name in the comments below. And I'd love to follow up and share more details of the launch when it goes live. But for now, I just wanted to give you a preview. And we're going to click straight through into the dashboard and show you what I've been working on. Here we have a place where we're going to store all the different jobs that we may be applying for, or if we're not directly applying, basically we want to look to see, are we going to be prepared for future roles that potentially going to come up that we may be interested in. I see a couple of job descriptions I put in here as samples, product manager role and a people analytics role. We're actually going to dig into the people analytics role first. And just a quick call out, if you are looking for different roles in the people analytics space, one model actually has a career page here where you can look at the URL here, but head to one model and look at the different roles that you have available. And all I did is click through to this people analytics role just to understand a little bit more about it, and then pulled that into here. You can see if I click update job description, all of the different details are already loaded in here, and we give it a unique name so that it's easier to see when we're looking through all the potential different roles that we may be interested in. But once the role is actually put in there's a bunch of things that you can do. We're going to use AI to generate a whole bunch of different ideas, and these are all tuned models that are going to help you prepare for success in an interview and even for an application when you're thinking about your resume. So let's start there. So you can see we have an ability to look at refining a resume, answering technical questions, or practice interviewing. We're going to start with the resume just because I feel like that's a good place to start and just figure out how well equipped we are to deal with this potential role. So I'm going to drop my resume in the top part. And essentially what this is going to do is pass that resume out the same way that a recruiter or an AI resume screener would do, and actually go through and give me personalized feedback on ways to improve, specifically improve for this given role that we're potentially going to be applying for. So we're going to look across 5 different areas: how well the resume will score based on the ATS compatibility. That's the applicant tracking system that companies will use to manage your application. How well it matches to the job that we've specified, and then some more feedback around writing and formatting, keywords that we're going to use, and then any additional insights that may be relevant. So this is all gone through an LLM model on the back end, but it's designed to be very straightforward in that you can take a look here, see, okay, this is fine for ATS compatibility. It looks like it's going to work fine if we apply to a role with this. Look at job match, and we can see, we've got some pretty strong areas here, but we are missing technical skills. And so that will be something that we maybe want to focus on in a revision for this resume, especially if we're thinking about using this for this specific role. But if these are the kind of roles we're looking at, we probably want to start to think about how we can demonstrate the different skill sets that we have, so that when we do apply to a role, we're going to be perceived as a better match. This is equally important for your LinkedIn profile. Recruiters will look for you on LinkedIn. They'll go through your profiles when you've applied, or even if you aren't applying, but they're actually looking for source candidates for different roles. If you have these skills in your profile, then you're much more likely to be found on one of the searches that they're going to do. And then a few other things, recommendations for improving the resume there. There are also a bunch of updates that it recommends. So the resume length and summary sections, both too long and something I'd want to focus on, and a few other pieces of advice. Keyword coverage is a big one, as many companies are using resume screeners. Having the right keywords in your resume without overdoing it is going to help you to score more highly if they're using a simple kind of sort-based filtering process. So just ensuring that you get these kind of keywords into your resume is going to help to make sure that you are going to be well positioned for that role. And a few other recommendations here, and then additional insights. Some of these may be relevant, or maybe some things that we want to remove. You're more than likely going to be filtering out an individual resume for each role that you apply for. Based on this feedback, you can actually hone in one of your larger kind of all-encompassing resumes to something that's highly targeted for this specific role. While you can actually get an AI tool to generate a resume for you, what I would actually recommend is use the feedback here, generate it yourself, and it doesn't look like an AI generated resume. And then you can actually talk to all the different elements a little more succinctly as well. And the other two things that are going to be highly important for us are being able to answer technical questions. This is a way for us to test to see if we have the right knowledge and give us a ton of prep to do before we actually go in for an interview. And then also an interview practice as well. So if we click to answer technical questions, you can see here we have a very simple page. We can do easy, medium, hard questions. Let's just start with an easy question just to get it started and so I can demo what this is about. So we want to provide an initial assessment of employee engagement trends. How would we approach this? How it needs to translate data into actionable insights for business leaders, key metrics to prioritize, and first steps to gather and present this information. So I'm just going to generate a very simple answer here. Business performance, different teams. So very simple answer. This is not going to score very highly, but hopefully will be enough just to give us a demo for the type of feedback that you would expect from this. So yep, 2 out of 10. You completely missed the core, which was to assess employee engagement trends. So yep, I clearly didn't read the question properly. The number one complaint from a lot of hiring managers is that candidates don't answer the question that was asked. And so this is going to be really key. So engagement metrics gives you the kind of model answer below, so you can actually use this to gather feedback and actually refine your answers so that when you do get to the interview, you're much more prepared than I was for this one. So that's the kind of different questions that you could ask. And the final thing we're going to do is jump into the practice interviewing. Now, if I click to start the interview here, what it's actually going to do is hopefully take over my microphone and we're going to be able to communicate back to it. But one of the things we're going to do is not be able to really narrate over the top of this while also answering questions here. So I'm going to stop this call and you'll be able to see what it's doing. So we can generate some feedback from this, but that's not actually going to be very helpful. I did do a very simple interview for the other role that we looked at just to test. So we can actually see this interview that's already been saved and I can give you some feedback on this. I've already generated this feedback. Normally it would take a few seconds for this to generate, but it's kind of going into detail on how I performed in the interview. So over the course of a 30-minute interview, this is actually going to give you a lot of very useful information and then a lot of action items that you can then take away and improve your overall interview performance and hopefully gradually kind of work up to the level where when you get to the interview, you feel fully prepped, you've understood all the gaps in your knowledge, and you can give it your best shot in order to perform best. So that's a wrap up of everything that we're about to launch. I hope you found this helpful. I think a lot of people will get a lot of benefit from this. One of the things that I really believe is that the key to actually performing well in an interview is not to generate a whole bunch of stuff using AI, but to actually use AI as a coach and an advisor in order to help you prepare better. Because even if you do pass the interview, but you haven't actually got the core knowledge and skill sets and developed them over time, you're actually not going to perform well when you get into the job. And so that's going to be pretty key. So I hope that was helpful. Please ask any questions, any requests for any other follow-up work down below, and look forward to hearing you. Bye-bye.